classical period started in 1750 and finished in 1820. It is the following period to the Baroque period. The term classical refers to features such as proportion and symmetry that characterize the sculpture and architecture of ancient Greece and Rome, and also art of subsequent periods that display these features. Classicists embrace the notion of universal ideas of beauty and strive in art to achieve universality through the representation of ideal forms. This period is also called Enlightenment because of the ideas of reason, objectivity, and scientific knowledge. Important thinkers of these ideas were Diderot, Voltaire, and Lessing. They promote all aspects of European society and culture. Many American politicians shared the belief in human progress and natural rights. Natural rights are the rights of the individual opposed to the rights of the state as embodied in a monarch. These rights that people have just for being a person. Many examples of these politicians are Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson. The aesthetics of classicism and the Enlightenment worldview shaped the art of the second half of the 18th century and early 19th century. These ideas led to the American Revolution, then the French Revolution, and then another revolutions like the Revolution of our country.
About the art in the Enlightenment. The architects found the inspiration in the proportion and grace of Greek and Roman temples. The music composers left inside complex textures. They learned composition techniques such as full imitation and readiness in favor of transparent textures, a single melody supported by the subordinated accompaniment and somewhat superficial sentiments. The counterpoint, the process of rigorous development and depth of expression reappear, but in the context of the classical ideas of clarity, proportion, and refining taste. Important development things in this period were the expansion of the orchestra to 30 of 40 players, the improvements in the mechanisms of instruments, especially the piano, the public support through concerts, and a publication of open music. In this period we have 1. The symphonies, large and elaborated pieces divided in sections or movements. The 2. The concertos. They were like a symphony with hacking solo and the orchestra work as support. 3. The string quartet or ensembles is like an orchestra of string instruments, most of the time played by 4 people. And finally, the opera had a dramatic vocal-led performance, and it makes you remember of the ancient Greek drama.
The details from his early life are sketchy. He was born in 1732 in an Austrian village known as the father of the symphonies. He came from a humble background, but despite his family's lack of musical background, his unusual musical talents led him to leave home at 6 years old and find refuge with a relative, Johann Matthias Frank. During his childhood, he was totally humiliated by his professor and a relative, and he suffered hunger, but he had another option. The good part is that he learned to play harpsichord and violin. At the age of 8, he was chosen to join the choir of one of the most important cathedrals in Vienna, but he was dismissed because he was changing his voice, and also he made a silly prank to one of his partners, cutting his hair. After that, he started to supporting himself as a freelance composer. He worked as a serenader, organ player, music teacher, and composer. At the age of 29, he entered at the service of wealthy and powerful Hungarian aristocratic family, the Esterházys. There, the household staff included orchestral musicians, opera singers, and chapel choirs.
He worked and lived there for 30 years, composing and performing, isolated from everything. That's why he said, "There is nobody in my vicinity to confuse and annoy me in my course, so I had to become original." So he was original because, basically, he couldn't copy anyone. In 1790, the Strathi Prince changed, and Haydn life took a new direction. He moved to Vienna, where he was named an honorary citizen, and where he was Beethoven's young teacher. Also, he accepted invitations to 2 trips to London, where he won fame and held various musical positions through them. He composed a number of important new works, and the performances devoted to his music were concerts of seasons. He died being one of the most celebrated figures in Europe. He died at the age of 77 in 1809. His compositional output include 52 piano sonatas, about 100 symphonies, masses, sacred vocal music, operas, and oratorios. His most important works were The Creations, The Seasons, and the London Symphonies. His works document the transition from the late Baroque to the mature classical style. He is known as the father of the symphony and the father of the string quartet.